when we're talking about Erzulie, Dantò, Petwo, you know, these are two lois that are very powerful, but in the same point of view, they are, how could I say, misunderstood. Because when we're talking about Western views and how people try to make, you know, Ezili, Dantò, and Petwo into, you know, they try to make them into, let's just say, peaceful. They try to make them fantasy like Cinderella, you know, or Virgin Mary. This is a, how can I say this? This is a, how would I say, defecation? I wouldn't say defecation, but I would say a desecration to the nature of these two particular lois. Ezili, Dantò, that photo which many people use, you know, that photo there is a great mystery. Because that lady, you know, that loi that possesses that photo represents a woman who is in need. The child is a child that is in need of its mother. See, when a person doesn't understand, you know, it's like when they start rationalizing, they get into these carnal ways of thinking, they miss what the Spirit is trying to convey. In that sense, when you think of the word Erzulie, Dantò, what does Danto mean? Danto comes from onto in Haitian Creole. Onto means in the wrong. So when you say Erzulie, Dantò, you are saying Erzulie in the wrong. This loi is a loi of Petwo. When you say wrong, Ezili in the wrong, she is basically a female that you can see in a manifestation that makes poor decisions. She makes poor decisions. And, you know, the thing is, she needs someone to guide her and give her direction, or else she will utterly destroy herself. Her child, on the other end, is a reflection of its mother, who we call Petwo. Petwo is a child that cries for its mother. When you see a child crying, if you take something away from a child, the child starts to cry and throws temper tantrums. So you see the manifestation of that in children. But a child needs guidance. It needs nurturing. A child in its rage can do very destructive things. While in his temperament, the child does not know the destruction he's causing and how and what he's doing to others. So this comes into the whole understanding of the age of accountability. Does this child know right from wrong? Petwo does not know right from wrong. When you think of these lois, they are fallen lois. They are forsaken lois. So their temperament is very destructive. See, you can keep Ezili, Dantò on the right path. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand, when you say Ezili, Dantò, she is in the wrong. So when you work with her, you're dealing with her, puts her on the right track. She's already in the wrong directions. You're giving her guidance and direction in the right direction. And at the same time, while you're doing that, you're giving yourself direction. The path of Ezili, Dantò is a path of self-discovery. Because when you meet Dantò, you find out a lot about yourself. See, Ezili Dantò, this is a loi that centers on the heart. It's not really what you say that means the most. It's what you have in your heart. It's not what you do. It's what you have in your heart. Before any action is committed, it resonates within your heart. See, for you carnal-minded people out here, you're going to think, oh, I'm talking of basically your heart that pumps blood. This is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, in essence, your spirit. See, many people get into this whole wungan, Mombo thing and blah, blah, blah. This woman. Let me tell you something. When you're talking about Ezili Dantò, she'll use a child who doesn't speak before she'll use a wungan or Mombo in their fancy clothes and singing a bunch of songs. There's a problem in voodoo, and that problem is that most of us want to glamorize. Most of us want to showboat. And when we showboat, we are not getting the true essence of what the spirit is trying to convey. Dantò is a loi. Ezili Dantò is a loi of many faces. She can be a lover. She can be a daughter. She can even be your mother. Ezili Dantò is a woman that's in need. So when you work with her, you satisfy her every needs, her every dream, her every expectation. With her, an inch is a mile. It's not the big things that matters, it's the small things that counts. The small things to her, she's a loi that appreciates. She appreciates the things we do for her. What you think is a small offering, she looks at that as something great. Now, from that standpoint, of the small things meaning a lot to her, when you give to her, she gives you an abundance. Because that small thing is an abundance to her. But you have to be careful also, is because the fact that she takes the small things into consideration as something great. A small infraction in her eyes is a great abomination. So this is why they say, you must not be negligent. You can't be negligent when it comes to Ezili Dantò. You cannot be. There's so much things that comes with Haitian voodoo. This is not something that, you can just pop up and say you read a book or two. No, that's not the case. You have to be elevated. You have to be elevated to understand the ways of the loi. Ezili Dantò does not talk. This is why when Ezili Dantò comes, she has an interpreter. She does not talk. If anything, she shows us the truth rather than speaking the truth to us. She leads by example, not in word or action. Well, not in word, excuse me. See, one thing a person has to understand is that as soon as you connect with Ezili Dantò, that is where you start and end. That is where you start and begin. It is very crucial. Once you make that a commitment, trust. Ezili Dantò is a woman that she cherishes loyalty and trust. Her trust. These are things that are very delicate to her. So when someone goes astray or violates You know, just think about this. You're a person that you put in the world in a person, you've given everything to that person, and now that person walks away from you or whatever. That is your trust. That is your loyalty being, broken. That commitment, that bond you had with the person, that is being broken. So when you break that, that creates resentment. Ezili Dantò is a loi that has a dangerous streak. And this is why that's why they say it's very important that you know what you're doing, or you know what you're getting yourself into when you deal with her. Because if you try to leave and break your commitment to her, your agreement with her, you will suffer. So with that said, there's not much for me to say. I hope this video was of importance to you and educational. So with that said, I conclude this video.